Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. I am Drew Martin, breaking down today's action. Let me know in the comments below what your MLB picks are, where you agree, where you disagree, any analysis that you have on today's games, any questions, fire away. Smash that like button if you're liking the content, as we got one early start, bunch of primetime games, and a late night degenerate special to get into. So let's start off with the one afternoon game here. It's a makeup game. Game number one between the LA Dodgers and the New York Mets, 4:10 Eastern from Citi Field. It's McGill going for the Metropolitans, Glasnow going for the Dodgers. Dodgers laying 210 heading into the overnight market, 8 in the hook being the total. Dodgers come in 33-22 on the season, number one in the NL West, but they've lost 5 straight games, losing just under 10 units in that 5-game losing streak. So they've been burning some cash here. Glasnow on the hill, overall good, 3 RA, 2.4 FIP. His last 2 starts, though, just lasting 10 innings, he gave up 10 hits and 7 earned runs. So in current form, couple question marks, although last time versus the Mets, early April, he had 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk in 8 innings with 0 earned. So past performance against the Mets, very good. Recent performance, a little bit shaky here for the Dodgers starter. McGill going for the Mets, former 8th rounder out of Arizona, the former Wildcat. 2 starts, 3 ERA against 2 good lineups in Cleveland and Milwaukee. He's had some AAA starts as well. Guys, this number is huge. Minus 210 on a team that's lost 5 straight, losing 10 units in the process. I don't know, guy. I can't really get there. It's a little bit of a tricky handicap to start us off. It's not one that I love. But I think the home dog, might be barking here. Plus 180 on the Metropolitans. That's how we're going to go after this afternoon slate. So let's jump on the Mets. McGill as the starter. Going from New York to Detroit City here in the Motor City. Scooble going for the Tigers. Jonathan Jones going for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Minus 150. That's the Tigers as the home favorite. 6 in the hook being the total. So a low total here, and it speaks towards this pitching matchup, guys. We get Jones, the 22-year-old drafted in 2020 out of high school. He's already in the show here for the Pirates. He's got a 3 ERA, 3.5 FIP, 68 strikeouts in less than 60 innings pitched this season. So one more than a strikeout an inning, that's always a positive. And he's been really consistent. No more than 3 runs given up in any start this season. He's already started 10 games. He's a guy that will throw 97, 98 miles per hour, obviously missing bats, a guy that we've bet on a bunch on the show. Going to look to do so again today. Now he's up against Scooble, and it speaks in the total, also in the price range, minus 150 on the Detroit Tigers. He throws hard from the left side. You know, he'll hit 97, 98 miles per hour. Although he is off of his worst start of the season. He gave up 4 earned in 5 innings versus the Royals last time out. His overall metrics are good, 2.25 ERA, 2.1 FIP. Both of these bullpens have been real shaky. I mean, bottom 5 in MLB by my metrics. So, hey, the bullpen kind of a toss-up. Pitching matchup, I think both of them are going to have great starts. So it really comes down to price point here, guys. I mean, Detroit, yeah, they have won 2 straight, but they're just 2-5 their last 7, a game under 500. Laying minus 150 here, I think it's a little bit too pricey. So we're going to jump on the Pittsburgh Pirates plus 140. Risk 100 to win 140 on the kickback. So we got 2 dogs to start us off. We'll head to the Queen City for our 3rd game. St. Louis Cardinals and Cincinnati Reds. This is a 6:40 Eastern start, 5:40 local time. 6:40 local time. I'm thinking Cincinnati's. I'm not really sure if they're in the Central or the Eastern, but either way, it's Kirk Gibson going for the Cardinals. Andrew Abbott, the lefty, going for the Reds. Minus 125. That's the Reds as the home favorite. 9 in the hook being the total. The Cards come in 2 games under 500. Cincinnati, 6 games under 500. They had that horrid start to the month of May. But now they've won 4 straight. They swept the Dodgers. They won game 1 of this series. If you remember, the St. Louis Cardinals played the Chicago Cubs on Sunday Night Baseball. It got delayed a couple hours, and then they had that quick turnaround with travel to play game 1. Well, they ended up losing here against the Cincinnati Reds. Now they're going up against them here. And Andrew Abbott, another good lefty they're going to be facing. They just faced Lodolo. I think only scored 1 run in that game. Now they got Abbott. He's a second rounder out of Virginia, 2.6 ERA. His last time out, 7 innings, blanking the Padres. He's actually riding a hot left hand here, as he's only given up 1 earned run in his last 14 innings pitched over his last 2 starts. He's the guy I'm looking to be betting on. Gibson going for the Cardinals. He's kind of up and down. He's had some really good starts. He's also been knocked around a little bit. He's got near a 4 ERA, over a 4 FIP. And really the story here is he's got 23 walks on the season. That's a little bit alarming at this point. So he's having some control issues. And also his last time facing the Reds, granted it was late last year, but he only went 4 innings, giving up 9 hits and 6 earned runs. So the Reds have seen him pretty well. The Reds have a good pitcher on the hill. A little bit of a bullpen advantage here towards the big red machine. So overall, we're gonna list Andrew Abbott as the starter and lay the $1.25. It's the Reds at home over the Cardinals. We'll head to the ATL for our next game up, 7:20 Eastern. It's the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves. Max Fried going for the Bravos. Jake Irvin going for the Nats. 8.5 being the total. Braves heavy home favorites, minus 250. Braves come in 30-21 on the season, but they're just 4-7 their last 11 games. So not playing the best of baseball recently. And the Washington Nationals, they've won 3 of 4, all as underdogs. They won yesterday, game 1 of the series. We were on it if you watch Drew's Daily Diamond. Nice big plus price there. Those always feel good for the pocketbook. But the Nationals also on the road, they're just a game under 500. They've been road warriors here. Irvin on the hill, 6'6", 240-pounder, 4th rounder out of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner here. He's in his 2nd year in MLB, 3.7 ERA, 3.5 FIP, and those numbers, which are pretty good numbers, he's faced some really good lineups. You go over, his game logs. He's already faced the Dodgers twice and the Phillies twice. So those numbers probably even a little bit better than they're showing. Now, Max Fried, one of the better overall pitchers in MLB, but this season, his numbers aren't as good as the past years. I mean, 3.38 ERA, 3.5 FIP. He actually has a negative home road dichotomy. And I say negative because he's pitching at home here. He's been a lot worse at home. Over a 5 ERA when pitching in the ATL, and his opponent's batting average, 150 points higher at home. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's something to definitely take notice of. Washington, better bullpen here by a decent margin. The Braves bullpen has struggled, and their lineup is kind of cold. Bottom 10 lineup last 10 days by team OPS. Overall, guys, I mean, we talked about it. The Nationals have been our golden goose, cashing big plus prices really all season long. And also, the Nationals come into this one 4 games under 500. The Braves come into this one 9 games over 500. Yet further full season betting metrics, the Braves are down 2 units if you've been betting them every game, negative 2 units, and the Nationals are plus 10 units of profit. So it speaks that you got to go after the price in MLB. If you're new to betting baseball, really pay attention to pumping the brakes on laying huge numbers here, which you're going to have to do with the Braves. Not playing great baseball. Let's go with the Nationals, guys. Plus 214 is the high water mark right now in the offshore market. So it's Jake Irvin as the starter. Nationals plus over $2, the big dog barking in Cobb County. We'll head to Milwaukee for the next one up, 7:40 Eastern here. It's the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. Freddie Peralta going for the Brew Crew. Ben Brown going for the Cubbies. 7.5 being the total. Brewers minus 150 home favorite. Cubs come in 500, 27-27 on the season. Number 2 in the NL Central. It's actually number 1 versus number 2 in the standings here, but the Cubs have lost 5 straight games. They also had that Sunday night delay with travel, kind of put them in a tough spot in game 1. The Brewers won that one. I think they're actually going to win this one again, guys. Now, 50 cents here, minus 150 on the Brewers. That's about as high as we'll go if you've watched the show in terms of laying juice. Not a big fan of big favorites, but a couple of the reasons why. Ben Brown, not a guy I've had my eyes on too much, but it looks like, he's kind of a bullpen arm starter. trying to make his way here. He's actually only pitched 6 innings one time this season. He does have decent numbers. He's up against Peralta for the Brewers. Up and down himself, 3.8 ERA. He's a guy that, if he's on, he's going to be tough to hit. But if not, you could have some trouble here. He's got 71 strikeouts in 58 innings, so way more than a strikeout per inning. Going to list him as the starter. The Brewers crush righties, guys. That's what it's really about. Number 2 in MLB against righties by team OPS. Bullpens look to be a wash, and the Cubs lineup is ice cold. Lowest team OPS over the last 10 days. All of that puts us on the Milwaukee Brewers, minus 150 price tag. A couple games left here as we'll start heading out west. A mile high for the next one. 8:40 Eastern start time. It's the Cleveland Guardians and the Colorado Rockies. Feltner on the hill for the Rocks. McKenzie on the hill for Cleveland. Looks like the Guardians minus 150, road favorites, 10 in the hook being the total. Now, Cleveland's been a great team all season long. Number 1 in the AL Central, 36-18. I think just a half a game back from the Yankees for the best record in the AL. They did lose yesterday in Colorado, but they're 9-1 their last 10, so it's kind of like a little bit tough there. They're obviously playing good baseball of recent, but losing game 1 here. McKenzie, I always like to look at these starting pitchers when they're pitching in cores. How many times have they done so? He's only done so once. Over a 700 team OPS against him. He's got a 3.4 ERA, but a 5.5 FIP, and he's a guy that's really struggled with walks. 3+ walks in each of his last 4 starts. So he's having major control issues. He's got 31 walks, 31 free passes already this season. This is the first guy since we've been breaking it down that's gone north of the 30 walk mark. That's not something you want, putting base runners on in Coors Field. He's up against Feltner here for the Rockies. And he's actually the exact opposite. He's got better numbers in Coors Field. And we've seen it before with some of these Colorado pitchers. It makes sense. Their front office, their GM, hey, if guys are pitching well a mile high in the thin air, let's trade for them and see if they can keep it going. It makes total sense. And sure enough, his ERA is 1.5 less in Coors. His opponent's batting average a lot lower, slugging percentage 200 points less. Pitching a mile high. So we're going to ride that, guys. Colorado Rockies plus 127. They're a team overall, not very good, just 19-34, but they're only a game under 500 at home. They've won 2 straight, won 4 of their last 6. This is a team for multi-years now. You want to be betting on them at home plus prices and look to be fading them on the road. They only have 7 road wins on the season. I think they're 7-21. I will say this, though. Bullpen, huge edge towards Cleveland. So instead of going full game on Colorado, might get a little bit dicey there in the later innings. Let's go first 5 on the Colorado Rockies, plus price with the dog barking in the first half. Got 1 game left here, late night degenerates special. But first, do want to give a shout out. Everybody commenting below. Your MLB picks, any analysis you guys have, any questions, fire away. And please smash that like button if you're liking the content. Also, recap. Got away from the last couple shows. On Friday's show, we went 4-3 plus 1.25 units. In yesterday's show, 3-3, but we hit that Washington Nationals as the big dogs, so we finished 0.71 units to the positive. So 71 cents. Hey guys, anytime we're in the positive, we'll take it. So that's the recap for the last couple shows. And let's hit the last game for Tuesday. It's the Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres. 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 local time here from Petco Park. We get Jose Luzardo, the lefty, going for the Marlins, and Waldron going for the Friars. Minus 130, that's San Diego as the home favorite. 7 in the hook being the total. The Fish come in just 19-36 on the season. San Diego, a game over 500, 29-28. But both lineups, ice cold right now. The Padres averaging just 2 runs their last 4 games. The Marlins averaging 2 runs their last 5 games. So both teams having trouble hitting the ball. Miami has won each of the last 2 Luzardo starts, and he has been absolutely on fire. Back-to-back starts, blanking the opponent. So that's 14 innings, just 8 hits given up against the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Mets. riding a hot hand here on Luzardo. Waldron, the starting pitcher here for the Friars, just under a 5 ERA. He's kind of up and down. Some lineups knock him around. Some lineups really struggle against him. And it speaks to the knuckleball. I think he's the only knuckleball pitcher like on a regular rotation in MLB. And so it's a tricky handicap in that aspect. We don't really know how the Marlins are going to face a knuckleballer, but I think the more known commodity here is Luzardo, the starting pitcher for the Fish. Plus the fact the Padres have struggled at home for whatever reason in Petco. They're 4 games under 500, and they have a lefty-righty negative dichotomy in this one. They're facing a lefty, and they are much worse against lefties. They smash righties. They struggle against southpaws. Hey, they're getting a good southpaw here in Luzardo, who's pitched very, very well of late. So getting the plus 118 price tag, that's on the Miami Marlins to end it, guys, on the West Coast. That's going to do it for Drew's Daily Diamond for Tuesday. Check out Premium Picks, WagerTalk.com, experts page, Drew Martin, and comment below, guys. Please smash that like button if you're liking the content. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Cash those tickets.